Welcome, everybody. My name is CJ Cannata, President and CEO of the Cannata Report, and I have the pleasure of sitting here with a special guest, Mr. Mike Marusic, thought leader and current CEO of Sharp US here at Sharp's Montvale headquarters. Right now, our watch list slash gala issue is out right now. And as we've shared some perspectives rather as to what we think is of note for next year, what dealers should be watching, who dealers should be watching, what executives, companies, and trends, and so on and so forth. What is most exciting to you from your perspective in terms of what's coming in 2024?
Well, for me, I'm going to give the Sharp perspective, and I think most exciting for us is entering production print. This is a category, I don't think it's a secret. It's been, kind of a gap in our lineup for Sharp. And so to be able to enter this market, and I think, the product that we're partnering on, that our first entry is widely acclaimed as the best product in the market, not a bad way to start. So we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of, hiring. We're bringing out a lot of people, but that's probably the most exciting thing because that really closes a gap in our lineup. And then as the year goes on, it only gets better because we got the production print on one end, and then the next big wave is MPS and print in A4. And we have a whole new lineup of A4 printers coming out mid-year. So I think that, that kind of, from a product standpoint for Sharp, rounding out both sides of our product line is really exciting. The dealer community is always looking at demise, and demise isn't here. Obviously print is not what it was 15 years ago, right? We're not seeing the upswing and rising boats, with the rising tide. That's not the case anymore. But it's a solid business, and I think that there's too much negativity around that. Now, while that's happening, we also got to diversify our offering. We got to get into new spaces. We got to leverage our investments. But I think that the dealer community sometimes gets caught up in what's going to happen. And it's not as bad as people foresee, but we do got to get moving on diversification, getting into other areas, leveraging what you have inside your customer. I think that, to me, is like the trend that both encapsulates both sides of it, right? You have the negativity sometimes, but you have the optimism on the other side of here's what you can do with that period. So to me, that's going to be the big trend this year, is what dealers are able to make that transition, whether they go in production print, they get more aggressive in MPS and kind of go nationwide with it, or they start selling other technologies. So those are the two trends I see the most of.
But you do feel that diversification is important for the sustainability of the dealer channel?
Oh, absolutely. I think that, look, we have a fixed cost of running our business. If you're in the dealer community, you got your service operations. So whether you have a service tech calling on a customer, if that machine is doing 20% less clicks, they're still visiting the customer. The cost of them driving there, their salaries, their benefits is still there, it's still going up. But the revenue you're collecting is going down. So there's two answers. You either have a tech servicing more equipment, right? But then you're just riding it down. But you can also have that same customer buy more technology from you. And so now the revenue per visit, the revenue per customer goes up and sustains your business. I think that's really where I think dealers have to make that move, is what else can I sell my existing customer? And I see so many dealers doing that already.
What, from your perspective, aren't you hearing enough of in the market, whether it's a trend or a strategy or how to move forward for a dealership, that you think should be more talked about, or that you or Sharp advocate?
Yeah, I don't think that there's a lack of ideas. I think there's more of a lack of action. I think that if you go to any event that either is sponsored by the industry, by the co-op groups, or even any manufacturer's event, we're all talking about diversification. I think the pause and the part that I don't see enough of and action is, what are you going to do with it? What are the technologies that you want to add? What's your capabilities as a dealership? And what's the capability of your customer base that could receive that product, right? So if you're selling to large-scale companies and large universities, then obviously production print is a perfect fit. You should go right into that. If you're selling SMB, that might not be the fit, but there's other technologies. So I feel that it's not a lack of ideas, it's just a lack of action. And if I had to say one thing, I would encourage dealers to look outside our industry for more information. There's enough other vendors, enough other technologies, enough other industry groups that you can learn about how to make money in those other segments. And I think that would be something I would advise all dealers to do, is look at what else is out there. Obviously, I'm going to push the Sharp stuff, But believe it or not, there's things other than what Sharp makes, and I think dealers should be looking at that more aggressively than just studying it and talking about it, if that would be one piece of advice.